Okay, this is your first practice Fusion video. So when you open Fusion, you're going to look at your desktop and you're going to find this blue rectangle with the orange F in it. Open that up. Fusion is a pretty big software. It's going to load kind of slow. So when it starts loading and you're trying to get it to open, be patient. Don't click it a bunch of times. If you click it too many times, you can crash your computer, and you don't want to do that. So just click it twice, double click it and wait for it to open. If you need to pause the video while it opens, go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, once your Fusion's open and your screen looks like mine, up here in the top left-hand corner, you see your waffle, your little 9 squares. Go ahead and click this, and it's going to open up your panel of projects. What I need you to do first, before you do anything, I need you to make a project with your name on it. So this blue button that says New Project, I need you to click New Project. And you're not going to have all these projects I have. Students have already shared work with me. That's why I already have all these projects. You won't have all those. That's okay. So up here where this is giving you a new project, I need you to type your name. Don't actually type your name. Type your name. So if your name is, Alyssa Holterman, for example, she typed Alyssa Holterman. I need you to type whatever your name is right here and then hit enter so that you have a project with your name on it. Now, once you have a project with your name on it, and this is going to take a minute to save, let it save. Go ahead and double click that project with your name on it and open it up, and you won't have any files in here yet. That's okay, no big deal. We haven't done anything, that's why. Once you have this project made, I need you to click the people button and share it with me. This is how I'm going to grade your work. Now, I need you to type my email address, so elsassea@greatoaks.com. So I need you to type my email address and click invite. It's not going to let me invite myself because I already own it, so I see my name here. When you log in, you'll see your name here, and then when you type my email address in and click invite, you'll see my email address below it. So that's what I need you guys to do. I need you to type my email address and click invite. elsassea@greatoaks.com and click invite. Once you see my name pop up, you can close this. Okay, now we're going to make our first sketch. Up here in our toolbar, this is our toolbar up here at the top. I'm going to start with my sketch menu. My sketch menu has a drop down with a whole bunch of things, and we're going to talk about some of them right now. But the first thing we need to click is sketch. The sketch button right here, it says create sketch. When you hover over a button, Fusion's going to tell you what it does, and that's really important. So if you're ever curious or want to know what's going on, just click on that, hover over that button, and it'll tell you what it does. And then when you click it, you can pick a sketch. Now I'm going to pick the XY plane. It's red and green, like Christmas. And I'm going to start my sketch. I'm going to start with a rectangle. So I'm going to hit my sketch menu, and I'm going to go to rectangle, and I'm going to click 2-point rectangle. And you guys should be doing this with me. So if you need to pause the video and catch up, go ahead and pause the video, but you need to be doing this with me. So I'm going to make a rectangle, and it doesn't matter where you put it. So click, click. I click twice, and I see a rectangle, and it's orange. Good. That's what I want. Now, on my keyboard, I'm going to type D. So type D for dimension. Do you see how my mouse changed? Okay, see how my mouse is a white arrow, and when I hit D, it looks a little bit different. So I'm going to click on the edge, and I'm going to tell it I want this edge to be 2. And I'm going to click on my top edge, and I'm dragging my mouse up, and I click again. I'm going to tell it I want it to be 3, and I hit enter. So once I have a 2x3 rectangle, I still have my dimensioning tool. See my mouse? It still looks like it wants to dimension. Click escape. Your escape button on your keyboard, ESC, up in the top left-hand corner, click that escape button, and it'll turn your dimensioning tool off. Now, I have a rectangle, and you see how it turned that peach, like orange color, and when I hover over it, it goes blue? That's because it's a closed loop. When you make a closed shape or a closed loop, Inventor will let you know that you can build something now. So I'm going to create with extrude. Extrude means pull out. So see how when I hover over the extrude tool, it's showing me a cube and a cylinder on that cube. So if I click extrude and I click on my rectangle, it's giving me this arrow, and I can pull that arrow out, and you see how it's letting me make a shape? So I can pull it however far I want it, or in this box, I can type in the distance. Over here in my extrude menu, I can also type the distance. So there's 3 ways I can do this. I'm going to make this small. I'm only going to make this 0.2 because I don't want it to be very big. I just want a little platform for practice. And now that I've made a rectangle and extruded it, I can use my view cube. This up here is called my view cube, so I can look at it from the front. I can turn it around and look at it from the right. I can flip it upside down and look at it from the top. I can rotate it with the arrows. But if I click the house right here, the house is my home button, and that'll take me to the home key. On your mouse, if you use your rolly wheel, you can push it away to zoom out or pull it towards you to zoom in. And down here, I have some tools. In my pan tool, the hand, if I click pan, I can grab this and move it around. Now, if I want to turn that off, I hit escape, okay? Now, I'm going to put a new sketch on top of here, and I'm going to draw a couple more things. So I'm going to put a new sketch on top, and I'm going to draw a couple more things. Oh, but before I do that, let's click Stop Sketch. Before I do that, I want to make this body a component. I want to make it a separate component, and this is going to help us add color to our work. So I'm going to open up my body, and I'm going to right-click on Body 1. I use my right-click button, and I'm going to click Create Component. So now I have a component from Body 1. And I'm going to come down here into my workflow tree, and I'm going to right click on this sketch and delete it because I want it to be after that first component. Now I'm going to put a new sketch on here, and I'm going to draw some stuff. I'm going to draw some things here. I'm going to use more sketch tools. I'm going to use my line tool, and I'm going to make a lightning bolt. So I'm going to use my line tool, and I'm going to click, 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 and my work is staying connected. See how my lines are staying connected? And when I connect this up here, do you see how I have a plus sign on my mouse? When I come down here to this point, it turns to a square, and now I have a closed shape. So I'm going to leave that there for a minute, and I'm going to draw a couple more things. So my line tool makes straight lines. It's pretty obvious. I'm going to use my circle tool, center diameter circle, and I'm going to click the center of my circle and drag it out and make a circle. That was easy. And now I'm going to use my spline tool. My spline tool makes curves. Watch this. If I click, 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 it looks kind of like a heart, right? I'm going to hit enter. And I click over here so I can see what my heart looks like. I'm going to get another spline for the other half of the heart. Click, 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 click. And now I've got a whole heart made. Once I do that, I can use these points where I clicked, and I can pull them around to change the shape of my heart if I'm not very happy with it. So I can always modify my work. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my sketch tools to make a polygon. I'm going to come over here to polygon, and I'm going to use an edge polygon. So I'm going to click, click, and I made a line. Now I'm going to pull it up, and it wants to make a polygon. It's defaulting to a 6-sided polygon, but I want to make a 5-sided polygon. So I'm just going to type 5 and hit enter. So there's my 5-sided polygon. And now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude these shapes. So I've already got my first rectangle extruded, and I drew these shapes on top of it with a new sketch, and I can see that down here in my tree. I can see my first sketch, I can see my extrusion, I can see my second sketch. Now I'm going to create and extrude these shapes, and I need to click them all at the same time if I want them all to extrude, and I'm going to extrude these 0.2 also. When I extrude those 0.2, you'll see them pop out. Now I can go into my bodies, and I can right click on this body and make it a new component also. So now I have 2 components, but this component, component 2, is inside of component 1. What I want is I want them both to be separate. So I'm going to pull this to the outside, and now they're separate components. So I can start adding some color, and I'll show you how to do that in video 2. Save your work. Let's go File, Save, and save our work, because if you don't save your work, you can lose it. But once you save your work, you'll never ever lose it. So save your work, call it practice 1. And then we'll start video 2 to finish